So, have you ever gotten something that you thought was going to change your life? Like, this is it, I've cracked the code. But then, inevitably, it all goes horribly and hilariously wrong? Yeah, same. Let me tell you about the time I tried to buy a bike and ended up with a life lesson instead. Hi, I'm James Holliday, and this is where we dig into life's big questions, weird moments, and everything that comes in between. Today, we're talking about why we chase what we can have, and what happens when that chase kicks our ass. Cue story time. So, I decided I'd be the guy who bikes to school. Save money, save the planet, get fit, 3 birds, 1 stone. Genius, right? Yes, I know. I am absolutely the most intelligent man who has ever existed for all of time. So, I decided to order a bike online, which I thought would be simple enough. No. The delivery is chaotic and a very good indication of how things would go from there. First day, they completely miss me. Don't understand how that happened because it's not like the building moved, but okay, fine. Everybody makes mistakes. So the first day, they miss me entirely. Second day, they can't find the building. Again, don't quite understand how that's possible, but okay, you can't find the building. That's cool. I get it. Whatever. So finally, on the third day, it shows up. And I had forgotten, somehow, that I live, at the time, on the 8th floor of a building without a functional elevator. So I have to carry this bike on my back up a spiral staircase 7 stories, which was painful. I am not a fit or a trim man by any means, and it was a very dark day, and there was much swearing and moaning and wailing and gnashing of teeth. But eventually, I did manage to cart this thing all the way upstairs, like the incredible physical specimen that I am, and then the really gritty, exciting stuff starts. I have to put the thing together, and I have no experience working with my hands whatsoever. The closest I have in terms of experience is Lego, and I thought that would translate, and I was wrong. It does not translate at all. Building a bike is not the same thing as building Lego, and it took me, I think, 6 hours to build a bike that was mostly assembled because I am pathetic, and I'm very angry, but I finally get the thing put together, get it all assembled, and I realize that the tires are flat. So, okay, fine. I don't have an air pump. Okay, fine. Luckily, there's a train station not far from where I was staying. So I figure, okay, I'll walk it there, I'll pump up the tires, all good, no worries. So I go back downstairs, carrying the thing on my shoulders like Hercules, might I add. And I get downstairs and I look out the window and it's pouring rain. Wonderful, I forgot that weather was a factor. Whatever, I've got a raincoat, water's not going to kill me, so fine. I'm going to the air pump. I finally get there. It takes forever. It's cold. I can't figure out how to work it, but I finally pump up the tires. And I'm so excited. And I get on the bike, and I sit down, and I left the pedals back in my apartment. So I am approaching frustration at this point, and I finally get it back to my apartment in the rain. Again, like an idiot, I carried the whole thing back up to my apartment, up 7 flights of stairs, on a spiral staircase, because I didn't realize that I could just bring the pedals down to where I was. So I did that, assembled it, brought it all the way back downstairs, and of course, I finally get outside, sit down on it. I am so wonderfully excited, and the bike is too small. This bike is probably for someone between the ages of 4 and 6. And I am mostly just disappointed in my inability to read the Amazon product description. And yeah, it's circus clown levels of bad. I look like I have fallen off of the wagon in more ways than one. So now at this point, I have got a bike that doesn't work, that I have no idea how to return, a bruised ego, and a whole lot of regret. So, why do we do this to ourselves? Well, there's something called the scarcity principle. Basically, it's that old philosophy that the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. we value things the harder they are to get. Diamonds, limited edition sneakers, bicycles, whatever it is, we are biologically and physiologically wired to desire the unattainable. Things that we can't have are more attractive to us simply because we can't have them. Simple as that. So, thinking about it and looking back on it now that my pride has recovered, I realized something. It wasn't really about the bike, it was about who I thought I would be with the bike. The guy who's got it all together, the guy who cares, the guy who's fit, the guy who is capable of assembling something that turns out was designed for a child. But here's the kicker. Buying a bike, or diamonds, or limited edition sneakers, or whatever it is, doesn't magically make you that guy. It's something that you have to achieve on your own, but that's not always an easy thing to do. And let's not forget, society loves the grind. That's the big thing right now. Rise and grind. You have to get on your grind set. You know, any moment that you're not actively spending achieving something, working out, pursuing some kind of hobby or interest that you have, it's a wasted moment. It's a wasted opportunity. Hustle harder, work faster, waste no time. If you spend any amount of time at all sitting still, you're a failure. But honestly, that's not how life works at all. You cannot be going 100 miles an hour all the time. You will burn out, and eventually you'll be worse off than you were when you started. And all that aside, maybe we just chase anything because we don't know what else to do. Maybe we look for something that we can't have. We run in circles, spinning our wheels in the mud just because we don't understand how to do anything else. Maybe all that grind set stuff is just a distraction from figuring out what really matters to us. Maybe we just run as fast as we can because it's terrifying to think about what happens if we do stop moving, if we do spend a moment in silence, looking out of a window or quietly reflecting on why we're chasing what we're chasing in the first place. So, here's where I've landed. The chase isn't bad. It's human. It's something that we are all going to do. But we've got to remember, it's not about the chase. It's not about getting to the next level, being the biggest or the best. That's not what life is about. We shouldn't live life actively comparing ourselves to everything around us all the time. Not only is it unhealthy, but it's not nearly as productive as all of the Instagram self-help courses would have you believe it is. It's not good for you, and it's not good for people on the whole. If anything, I would make the case that it's destructive. It causes more damage than it appears to solve. Sure, it might make you feel better in a very short amount of time. It might give you that adrenaline boost, but not only will you never be able to get that first high again, but you'll just spend your life chasing your own tail, and you'll never actually make anything out of it. So, that being said, it's all about the lesson, like me and the bike. Sometimes you've got to go out there, you've got to chase it, and you've got to fall. You got to laugh, you've got to learn, but you got to move on. And as an aside, read product descriptions and double check the size chart. But you have to fall. You have to make mistakes. Sure, it's good to chase things, but you have to understand why you're chasing them. And maybe the best way to do that is to chase something, have it not work out, so that you can sit back, reflect on it, and think, why was I going so hard for this thing? What was the point? I don't know. But that's my take on it. What's yours? So, what's your version of the cursed bike? What's that thing that you chased and got, but it didn't quite pan out? What's something that you worked really hard for, but once you got it, it kind of left you feeling empty? Let's talk about it. Drop a comment, send a message, tell me something, anything. Talk to each other. Let's swap some stories. And if you enjoyed this rambling, because there's no other word for it, stick around. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you would do differently. And thank you very much for watching. I know this isn't much, but I do sincerely appreciate it. And I guess that's it. I'll see you next time. Thank you for sticking around. Bye-bye.